against an athletic Fort Wayne team, and it is up next on ESPN 3. Inside Redbird Arena tonight, the first home game of the year for the Illinois State Redbirds as they play host to the Mastodons of Fort Wayne. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Illinois State basketball here on ESPN 3 alongside former Redbird assistant coach Bob Morris. I'm Kurt Pegler. The Redbirds opened the year with a road loss on Friday at Murray State. Home for the first time this year tonight against a very good team, the Summit League preseason favorite, Fort Wayne.
This is a team that won 24 ball games last year, won the regular season championship, got upset in the tournament championship game. This is a team that's playing with a chip on their shoulder, Kurt.
Let's talk about some of the key players. Good backcourt for Fort Wayne, led by Mo Evans. He's back after being academically ineligible late last year.
This might be one of the best point guards the Redbirds will face this season. Mo Evans is the epitome of a point guard. He can score, which he just joined the 1,000-point club last weekend. He can dish to his teammates who are always ready to shoot. He can penetrate into the paint and make the ultimate decisions when he gets in there. He is one that also gets to the free throw line a lot. If the Redbirds are going to have success tonight, they're going to have to control Mo Evans.
Preseason All-Missouri Valley Conference pick Mikhail McIntosh off to a really good start for the Redbirds, huh?
I don't know what else I could say about him. I mean, the adjectives have all been used up, and they're all correct. This young man just keeps getting better and better, and this season's no exception. I think he has improved his game by his decision-making. I think he has more patience with the ball in his hand than he did a year ago. He's big, he's strong, he scores inside, and if that isn't enough, he'll take you outside, and he'll kill you with his three-point stroke.
Let's talk about the keys to the game, brought to you by Casey's General Store, Casey's famous for pizza. For Fort Wayne, what are their keys?
Well, I think they have to stay in character, and for them, that means they have to attack on offense. Attack, attack, attack. Like you said, they have a guard-dominated rotation. They like to take the ball into the paint and kick out the shooters, and they're always ready to shoot. They're always going to be on an attack mode when they run their motion offense. The other thing for them is they're going to get touches in the paint with their post players, but they're not necessarily their scoring threats. The post players are just going to try to distort the defense enough that they can kick out to the perimeters for shots out there again.
Redbirds looking for their first win of the year. What are the Redbirds' keys tonight, Bob?
Well, I think there are two things that go hand in hand. One, I think the first of all, the Redbirds need to dominate on their boards. They got to rebound with a vengeance tonight. They got to keep the Mastodons to one and done. And then I think that leads into the second key is I think the Redbirds need to get transition rolling tonight. If you want to beat a team that has good scores like the Mastodons have, then you got to make them play defense, and that starts in transition. You get a few of their shooters in foul trouble by making them guard you while they're going back on defense. So I think rebounds and transition defense or transition offense for the Redbirds are keys.
Stay tuned. We'll give you the starting fives and the opening tip up next. Illinois State and Fort Wayne. It's the Valley on ESPN 3. Back here at Redbird Arena, where it's Illinois State and Fort Wayne. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, and our Redbird production crew with you. The Mastodons come in with a 1-1 record. Illinois State comes in at 0-1, looking for win number 1 on the season. Take a look at the starting fives tonight, brought to you by your local Ford dealers. John Conchar is a guy the Redbirds are really going to have to keep their eye on. 6'5" guard. He wears number 55 for Fort Wayne. Bryson Scott, Mo Evans. We talked about him in the open. He's averaging 20.5 points a game early on. Brent Calhoun and D'Angelo Stewart, a 6'5" senior. A relatively small lineup, but a quick one, and one that will certainly push the tempo. The Redbirds start tonight's five with the same five that they opened the season with at Murray State. Harris Lee, Phil Fain, Mikhail McIntosh. We mentioned the junior from Ontario having a tremendous start to the season. Tony Wills back from his sports hernia injury, and Deontae Hawkins, who had a big game, 15 rebounds and a career-high 37 minutes in his first game on Friday night against Murray State. Illinois State leads the all-time series 2-zip. These two schools have not played very often. Their previous meetings were in December of 2005 and December of 2014, both games played here at Redbird Arena. We have a Missouri Valley Conference officiating crew, Randy Heimerman, Brad Furry, and Brad Gaston, ready to work this game here at Redbird Arena. Fort Wayne comes out in its road blue uniforms with white trim, and Illinois State in its home whites with red trim and red lettering. Again, the Redbirds started the season with a loss on Friday at Murray State, picked second in the Missouri Valley Conference preseason poll. Fort Wayne comes in at 1-1. The Mastodons are the preseason favorite in the Summit League, and they've got a big game next week. They're going to host Indiana on Tuesday night, the first time the Hoosiers have ever played at Fort Wayne. So I got to imagine those guys are a little stoked about that matchup.
Well, they went out and created a schedule to challenge what they believe is a championship squad this year. This is going to be an entertaining ball game here in Redbird Arena tonight. There's two teams that I think want to get up and down the floor, two teams that expect to win, two teams that we're about to find out how it's going to end.
Redbirds are 18-9 all-time in home openers here at Redbird Arena. This facility opened up in 1989. The Redbirds have the opening tip and the first possession of this basketball game, and we're glad that you're alongside for the Valley on ESPN3. This is Phil Fain attacking from the left, and he's fouled.
Good opening possession right there. Attack the rim, clear out for Fain, let him go, use his left hand as he takes it in and draws a foul early.
Fain is a sophomore, Elk Grove, California. Played junior college basketball at West Nebraska College.
But only for a year. He was a qualifier coming out of high school, so he's got 3 years of eligibility remaining.
He was a 12.7 rebound guy last year in junior college hoops, a high flyer, a guy that won the slam dunk contest in the preseason Illinois State Hoops Fest. So he won over the fans in October, and he has earned himself a spot in the starting five in the first two Redbird basketball games. He's given the Illinois State Redbirds the first point of this ball game. This is Stewart. And now Bryson Scott, he's the Purdue transfer. Now down low, double team. The Redbirds collapse on Calhoun.
Great ball movement by the Mastodons and an early silly foul by Mikhail McIntosh, that's been something that's troubled him his entire collegiate career, is getting early silly fouls.
And that is really going to be a theme that the Redbirds all year long, Bob, I know you've said are going to have to battle, is keeping Mikhail McIntosh on the floor and out of foul trouble.
That's exactly right. When he's on the floor, what he does speaks for itself. But they got to keep him out there.
Well,
let me rephrase that. He's got to keep himself out there.
Mo Evans is called for the traveling violation. He is going to be guarding multiple positions this year. He is Illinois State's strongest player by his physique on the floor. You just look at him, you can't believe how cut he is. He's going to be playing against guys that are 2-3 inches taller than him all year long, and so foul trouble is going to be following him, you would think, the whole season.
He's got to show his basketball IQ in how he prevents fouls happening.
Paris Lee's three from the left corner is in. The Redbirds have started the game on a 4-0 run.
Great ball movement. Great ball movement. Got a wide open look.
Evans penetrates. He lost it again. Consecutive turnovers for the senior from Indianapolis.
Tony Wills is doing a great job of harassing Mo Evans.
How about Tony Wills, right? He has sports hernia surgery in September, limited practice really all the way up until the opener, and all he does is roll out of bed and play 37 minutes in the opener on Friday night.
I just am astounded at that.
Hawkins is going to try a three. That rattles out
Boom.
and in and back in.
Again, the Redbirds are moving the ball. Mastodons had better figure something out defensively real soon.
A really good start for Illinois State against a team that can score. Calhoun spins.
Oh, he hooked him.
And he's going to be called for a foul. So 3 consecutive turnovers now for Fort Wayne. Not the start that John Kaufman wanted. He's in his 3rd season. Here's that three-point shot that rattled out and rattled back in.
And if that's who they're going to have, if Calhoun is going to guard Hawkins, he's going to get some looks as this game progresses, because I don't think he is a good matchup on Hawkins. The Redbirds need to look to find ways to exploit that.
Hawkins with his 3rd three-point make of the year. He's going to try to make it 4, and that one's right through without even touching the rim.
Well, it wasn't Calhoun guarding him.
What a start for the Redbirds. A 10-zip run right out of the gates.
This is what the doctor ordered. Now it becomes, can you maintain that mental toughness to continue this?
And that is going to be the former Bradley player, Xavier Taylor, off the bench with a jump hook shot, the first points of the night for Fort Wayne. He transferred to Fort Wayne after the coaching change, one of Gino Ford's former players, and when Bradley made a coaching change, there was a mass exodus from Peoria, and he was part of that group. He sat out last year, now is on the roster and playing for Fort Wayne. And the first points of the night for Fort Wayne, and Paris Lee knocks down a three. The Redbirds now have three three-point makes, Bob, in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Fort Wayne is not doing a very good job of contesting any of those shots. They're a step or two off of every shooter, and they're late getting to them. It's baffling to me that they haven't adjusted.
Wills and Xavier Taylor get tangled up on that one. That's going to be a jump ball, alternate possession. It goes to Fort Wayne. How about the Redbird efforts tonight from the field? They're going to shoot it all night. They're 4 out of 4 from beyond the arc. This is not a custom, this is not really their game plan, but it's working tonight.
Well, this is kind of what Fort Wayne does defensively. As it was explained to me, and then I watched some game tape of them, they play a soft man-to-man. They encourage you to shoot from the outside, but this is the problem with that style of defense, is that the game can get away from you if the opposing team is shooting well.
Evans lobs, and it's tipped in by a running DJ Clayton. It looked like he may have been overshot there, but he went up and got it and tipped it in. The Redbirds turning another steal into points, and the Redbirds are out to a 15-2 lead.
Well, the energy that the Redbirds are displaying, I think, is being generated from their defense.
Missed shot that time by Bryson Scott. The Redbirds come away with it, again pushing. Evans from the right side is going to be blocked out of bounds. It was Mo Evans that came back on the defensive end for the visitors.
One of the things that I'm seeing the Birds do that encourages me is they're getting out in transition. They're pushing. Like right there, we saw a turnover happen, boom. They didn't just nonchalant, they pushed, they got it out. Passed ahead from Paris Lee to Evans, and they're going after it. They're attacking.
Paris Lee takes a breather on the Redbird bench. Deontae Hawkins is back in. So Evans and Wills are the backcourt with some help from DJ Clayton. Redbirds kind of have a three-guard offense here. Hawkins, boy, he's got the hot hand. He's 3 out of 3 from the field, and this one was inside the arc.
Wow, he's feeling it. Again, though, that was not a highly contested shot. This soft man-to-man right now is being exploited tremendously by the Redbirds.
The Redbirds are 6 of 6 to start this game from the field. Evans penetrates.
Evans might have got away with a little travel right there.
This is Scott down the lane. He had a shot altered. It's going to be out of bounds, and it's going to go to the Redbirds. What a start for Illinois State. The Redbirds have scored 17 of the game's first 19 points, and at the first media timeout, have a 17-2 lead. You're watching The Valley on ESPN3. The Valley on ESPN3 is brought to you by Country Financial. If it's important to you, we protect it. Our first glance at the statistics here tonight, you don't have to look very far. The Redbirds, 6 shots and 6 makes, and they are 4 of 4 from beyond the arc and have run out to a 17-2 advantage.
Well, and to add to Fort Wayne's misery, they've also got 4 turnovers that have been created by the Redbird defense. Redbirds, I think, they've set the tempo on defense by being aggressive. They're getting in passing lanes. They're taking away penetration. They're showing help. They're creating turnovers, and then they're exploiting those turnovers into transitional offense, and they're scoring from it.
Yeah,
great start.
The Redbirds have scored 11 points off those 4 turnovers, as you mentioned, Bob, and that is a gigantic reason why the Redbirds are out to a 15-point lead here, and we haven't even played 5 minutes yet.
Now, with all that being said, the Redbirds have got to maintain this. They've got to be able to maintain the mental toughness and the degree of intensity that they've started with.
Fort Wayne is doubling McIntosh when he touches it. That's McIntosh in the paint, and a kick out to Lee. Hot hand early, missed the 3. Deontae Hawkins, an offensive board.
Glad to see Hawkins continuing the rebounding efforts. As you stated at the beginning of the program, he had 15 rebounds at Murray State. A great ball fake. Holy smokes.
Deontae Hawkins is feeling it.
He is schooling the Mastodons right now.
He is 5 of 5 from the field now. Check that, 4 of 4 from the field. And 19 points for the Redbirds, a 17-point advantage here.
A spot-up shooter is one thing, but when you add to that shot fake, dribble to the hard dribble left, and then drill one, that's big time. That's a big-time move there. That shot fake is something that is so elementary, people do not use it enough in game situations, I believe. It's old school, but effective.
Terrific start for Illinois State. This is Bryson Scott, and he may have walked. He did. Boy, the Mastodons just cannot get anything going offensively. I think you've got to credit the Redbird D. They've really made it difficult in the half court for Fort Wayne.
Well, they're getting great help defense when they penetrate in. The initial defender is still shadowing them, and then there's a help defense, and they just smother the ball, making it difficult for a shot attempt and or a kick out. Now, we talked briefly about this in our pregame, but this is a Fort Wayne team that went to University of Arkansas and was in the game the entire game. They only lost by 9 points. They put 5 people in double figures against the Razorbacks in Fayetteville. Not many do that.
And got 40 trips to the free throw line on
40,
the road. That's hard to believe.
40 attempts.
We're seeing Case and Harrell check in for the first time. He sends Bryson Scott to the bench as Fort Wayne trying to mix and match this offense, this lineup to try to get some, generate some offense here. 17-point Illinois State lead. We've played 6 minutes here at Redbird Arena. What a home opening start for Illinois State. McIntosh lost it that time.
Too much dribbling that time. He's got to get the ball moving. After 2 or 3 dribbles, if he hasn't got a shot or a pass, he's got to look to give it up. Right now, this is textbook defense by the Redbirds.
Conchar, open 3. Back of the iron, no good. Keyshawn Evans outfights the Fort Wayne player, Harrell, for it. Hawkins thought about the 3, stepped inside the arc, flips it over to Paris Lee, who penetrates and spins and shoots and missed it. Conchar goes up and gets it, and he's fouled. So John Conchar is going to pick up that foul against the Redbirds.
Foul was on Paris Lee, and you can't turn a missed shot into a follow-up foul. You have to sometimes just concede because Paris Lee is needed on the court. We saw at Murray State he got in foul trouble, and it cost the Birds. I do believe it cost the Birds with him sitting on the bench with 4 fouls for a period of time. He's got to eliminate the kind of foul we just saw him take right there. Young man with the ball, Mo Evans, has not been able to generate anything at this stage of the game.
Redbirds come away with another steal. That entry pass went off a foot and rolled right to Paris Lee. Excellent defensive effort so far by Illinois State. McIntosh down the lane, kick out. Now Lee's going to work the baseline.
Good find
Tony
right there.
Wills, an open 3 is no good, and it's controlled by Fort Wayne.
Good block out that time. Fort Wayne had 4 people on the defensive boards. There was nothing but blue jerseys under the rim.
And a foul on the perimeter against Phil Fain.
That's the aspect of the game Phil Fain has got to make an adjustment to. And he's got to learn that when he comes out and hedges, it's got to be a big step. You've got to commit to it and make the dribbler go arc out over you. You bump him like that, it's a foul every time.
Evans, 3, missed it. This is the largest deficit that Fort Wayne has faced all year, Bob. They're down 17 points and haven't scored. They're on a 4-minute scoring drought right now. They haven't scored since the 17:49 mark. And we're under 12 minutes to play here in the opening half now. Wills is going to try a 3 from the other side of the floor. Couldn't get it, and that's going to be off of the Mastodons. And so the Redbirds will have it when we come back. Time out of the floor, 11:51 to go here, opening half. It's been all Illinois State. Good start for the Redbirds. They lead Fort Wayne at Redbird Arena 19-2.
These two could be a problem. They can hit from anywhere.
They're going down.
The Valley on ESPN3 is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Ford, go further. Illinois State 19, Fort Wayne 2. Again, the Redbirds started out on the road this year with a very difficult loss, a 3-point loss in Murray, Kentucky against a very good Murray State team, a game that the Redbirds probably felt like they should have won. They led for a good chunk of that game, but they have just come out on fire here, showing no hangover effect from that opening loss on Friday night.
Well, from a coaching perspective, that's what you're looking for. How do you react to a negative? There's no question they believe they should have won that game. 7-point lead, less than 3 minutes to go down at Murray, and you have the ball. You plan on winning those games. And if you're going to have a successful season, you better win those games. Now, what did you learn? The reasons why you didn't, and then are you going to put those to use in the next game? I'd say the Birds learned some lessons, and they're putting them to use tonight.
McIntosh flipped it up. A lot of contact there, but no call, and back comes Fort Wayne. The Redbirds have missed now 4 shots in a row. And now foul on Tony Wills.
Okay, let me explain a little bit, Kurt, on that foul, what the reasoning is on it. No, there was not very much contact whatsoever. But we had the officials come over and talk to us prior to the start of the game tonight. And he said there is a cylinder, an imaginary cylinder that goes up and down from the feet to the head of every offensive player. And if a defensive man interferes in that cylinder during an offensive move, it's a foul. No questions asked, it's going to be a foul. And they said it's a major emphasis that the officials have been instructed to call. So that foul you just saw on Tony Wills, not much contact, but he interfered in that imaginary cylinder.
First points of the night from Mo Evans.
I'm sorry, Kurt. That is a new rule and a new emphasis to that rule this year.
Hawkins finally missed a shot. The Redbirds have actually missed 5 consecutive shots now.
Now, the thing that I don't wish to see the Redbirds do is don't fall in love with the 3-point shot. Work that ball, move it around.
Hey, John Conchar in the right place at the right time. He was able to get that air ball and knock it in, his first bucket of the night.
I'm not certain that was an air ball. That was missed so badly. I'm going to think maybe that was an intentional pass.
5 consecutive points now for Fort Wayne. Wills is the open man. Redbirds working around to him. He missed the shot from the top, but there's going to be a foul on the floor. Illinois State's Andre Washington in the game drew that contact and that foul.
Andre Washington doesn't have a lot of beef to him on the inside, but he's quick and athletic. He can get around a block out, as he did then, get inside position and draw the foul.
So the Redbirds have Paris Lee, Deontae Hawkins, DJ Clayton, Andre Washington, and Tony Wills on the floor right now as they have the ball in their half court. Lee is wide open, and his 3 is in.
That 3-point shot is so wide open every time they make 2 or 3 passes. It's incredible how wide open that is and how it has been from the beginning.
Paris Lee has 3 3-point makes here in the opening half, and the Redbirds get a steal. It's Clayton who comes away with it. Lee again. He's going to try another 3. Can't get that one, but the long rebound is tracked down by the Redbirds.
Tony Wills coming up with loose ball opportunities, regaining the possession, giving the Birds another chance. Right now, there isn't any aspect of the game that Illinois State isn't winning. If they're patient on offense, I think they can get just about any shot they want at this moment.
Clayton worked his way in, but he couldn't finish the job. He got to the paint, but couldn't score. Now it's Evans back. He works on Wills, shoots it off the glass. He can't get it. Nice block out by Washington, and the ball is out of bounds. It's going to right back to Fort Wayne as Clayton couldn't control it.
No, he couldn't, because when the outlet pass was made to him, he tried to dribble the pass rather than catch it in stride and put it down. You better have hands the size of tennis rackets if you're going to dribble the ball off of a pass. You better catch it. That's a fundamentally elementary move. Catch, dribble. Don't swat at it.
Evans, pull up, over Wills.
That's what he does. He's that kind of a player, and tracks it down again. He's going to let her fly again. You give him second attempts. Again, one of the keys we talked about early. Don't give them second attempts. They'll make you pay. Look out.
Clayton.
Whoa, baby.
DJ Clayton attacks from the right, and a timeout for Fort Wayne.
That's not a happy coaching staff. Fort Wayne's I'm referring to. They gave up a transitional dunk. Nobody touched Clayton until he got to the rim. Coaches usually aren't happy about that. Good recognition by the Redbirds, though. Push and go, push and go. That's been their secret to success so far.
It came right after a Mo Evans three-point make. He's got a pair of them. He came away with that long rebound and hit it from the corner. And then, boy, by the time you just blinked your eyes, DJ Clayton was down dunking on the other end.
This is an athletic squad for the Redbirds that can push the ball like this. But you can't push the ball if you don't secure rebounds or get it quickly and go out of bounds and go. They're doing that. The Redbirds in years past have talked about being transitional, but they never did get the quick part to it. You got to get it and go, and this group loves to do that.
DJ Clayton is the Western Kentucky transfer for the Redbirds.
A little pressure here by the Birds, a little 2-2-1. They just barely got that across. That was pretty darn close for a nonchalant dribble.
This is Scott. He works around a screen. Off the glass, can't get it. Clayton goes back on the defensive backboard to come down with it. McIntosh thought about it.
Good recognition to
the
find
open
a shooter.
Clayton.
Good job by McIntosh. He was wide open. He knew better. No reason to. So he kicked it to an open DJ Clayton.
The Redbirds are 6 of 12 from beyond the arc here in the opening half. Scott's going to try a three. No good. We've got a couple of bodies tangled up underneath the basket. And that's going to go, I think, against the Redbirds' Phil Fain.
Yeah, they said he had a hold of his man and was blocking out by holding him. Can't do that in front of the officials. Got to make sure they're not looking when you grab them.
So Fain, with his second foul, is going to go to the bench. Tony Wills is also to the bench. And so the Redbirds now have Keyshawn Evans in the game, along with Hawkins, Clayton, McIntosh, and Paris Lee.
I know the Illinois State staff is preaching no let-ups, no let-ups, no let-ups, because this is such a hot shooting team from Fort Wayne that they can catch fire and they can go off. They can go 8 for 10 from the three-point line at any time.
Sure.
So they'll get right back in it if you don't and keep up the intensity.
A near steal that time, but an open look again. Mo Evans is now starting to heat up after a very slow start. Now he's made his last 3 shots, or 3 of his last 4. McIntosh going to try a 3, and that's in. Boy, the Redbirds are just hitting it from beyond the arc. I know that can be dangerous if you fall in love with that three-point shot, but right now it's working for Illinois State.
Good job of doubling down on the ball right there. Great effort by the Birds to get the loose ball, too.
And it's McIntosh that comes away with it on the floor for a steal. The Redbirds, as we approach the 7-minute mark, have a 17-point lead.
You know, it's always easier to try to make the point as a coach to get the rest of your players to go down and get loose balls and dive in the foot when your best player on your squad, and tonight Mikal McIntosh is that for the when he goes down and gets them.
Clayton traveled, lost his pivot foot, and that's a turnover against Illinois State. And we have a timeout on the floor. 6:59 to go here in this opening half. It's all Illinois State. Great start for the Redbirds. They lead at 30-13. This is the Valley. You're getting a look at John Munn, the Illinois State head athletic trainer. He's been the men's basketball athletic trainer since 1994, and tonight this is his 700th career basketball game. There isn't a nicer guy around campus for sure, and congratulations to John Munn. 700 games, and he's still going.
Yeah, 700 Redbird games, that is, and that's amazing, and boy, you hit the nail on the head. There just is not a nicer person you're ever going to find or come across. He gives his heart and soul to these ball players and these kids, and it's amazing the after-hours work that Munn and his staff put into things.
And he's smiling right now because The guys he's partly responsible for putting onto the basketball floor in a healthy manner have rattled off 30 of the game's first 43 points. Good start for Illinois State.
Just a little bit of token 2-2-1 that time again by the Birds to eat up a little clock. Back into a half-court man then.
Calhoun in some trouble. He may have turned it over. He did. Boy, the Redbirds pressured him, and he turned it over.
Well, it's a great opportunity when Calhoun gets the ball, when they run and double him, because he's not a ball handler. So when he gets it, they run and jump on him, and he's forced to put it on the floor, and you saw the outcome. Good defensive call by the Redbird staff. Oh, what a pass. What a finish.
Kyle McIntosh and one.
That's as pretty a basketball play as you'll see right there by two of the finest. Paris Lee dropping the dime to the big fella, going hard to the hole.
The Redbirds right now, Bob, are hitting on all cylinders, it appears, huh? At least offensively, and the defensive effort that they've had. They're holding an explosive team to 13 points in the first 15 minutes of this game?
Yeah.
14 minutes of this game?
Yeah. And I truly do believe that the offensive prowess is come from the energy that and the effectiveness that they're showing on defense. The Mastodons just don't know what they've been hit by right now.
3-point shot is missed. It's Charles Ruiz Jr. in the game for the first time. We've got a whistle on the rebound.
Brent Calhoun on a push-off.
Yeah, he's not had a good sequence here.
No, it's been at such a hectic, rapid pace that I think it's kind of the game's quicker than he is at the moment.
He is out. Xavier Taylor is back in for Fort Wayne. The Redbirds have the basketball and a 32-13 lead. Under 6 minutes to go here in this opening half. Wills leaves for McIntosh. His pull up from the foul line, no good. Tipped up and can't go. Good offensive rebound there from DJ Clayton. He just couldn't finish at the rim.
That was a very good effort by him. Those will go in more times than not for him. Oh, great effort right there on defense to play the passing lane.
And Clayton all the way in. He flipped it up. He got a little too far into the basket trying to attack from the left there. Now a scoop shot goes in from Mo Evans.
Mo Evans just keeps attacking.
Evans missed all of the second semester last year with eligibility issues, and he's just come out with a vengeance here to start the season. Again, averaging 20.5 points a game coming into tonight's game, and the Redbirds certainly have made things difficult on him, but in the last couple of minutes he's kind of found his stroke.
And when he does, then everything else starts to fall into place for them offensively. But I believe by looking at him, they're taking him out now as I start to say he looks winded. He really did. And of all the people out there, I would not have guessed that to be the case. I will give credit to the defensive efforts once again by the Birds to get Mo Evans to where he's asking to come out of a game.
We'll see Andre Washington come back in the game and give Kyle McIntosh a little breather while Hawkins goes to the free throw line. So Fort Wayne made 20 3-pointers in their first 2 games of the year. That's been their calling card. But tonight, they're just 3 out of 10 from beyond the arc.
Well, and the other thing, against Arkansas, we mentioned this earlier, they went to the free throw line 40 times. In their second game against Kenyon, they went to the free throw line 28 times. They haven't been to the free throw line yet tonight. So the effectiveness of their dribble and drive and kick game hasn't shown to hurt the Redbirds one bit.
Conchar lost the dribble, now needs some help. Down the lane, flipping it up and in. Good penetration that time from Case and Harrell.
Excellent move right there. He went hard and under control.
Harrell's first points of the night. Redbirds with the basketball and a 16-point advantage. Evans for 3. That's no good. High up to get it, though. Clayton's been very active here off the Redbird bench.
Wow, he did go high on that one.
Redbirds have 3 players ready to check back in the game here.
There's a guy that's been hot.
No good, but we've got a whistle. It's going to go against the Redbirds. It looks like Andre Washington's going to be called for the foul. And we've got a timeout. Redbirds will bring 3 fresh bodies in when we come back. 3:58 to go here. Opening half. Illinois State 33, Fort Wayne 17. This is The Valley on ESPN3. Stay tuned for our halftime report presented by Country Financial. And at the half, we'll share with you the first half statistics and highlights and also a feature on number 2, DJ Clayton. That's coming up on your Country Financial at the half. We mentioned how active DJ Clayton has been here tonight. He's been one of the reasons why the Redbirds have run out to this 33-17 advantage.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good line going right now. He's 3 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 1 from three-point line. He's got 5 rebounds, 7 total points, and only 1 foul. That's impressive. Speaking of fouls, I talked earlier when I thought that Mikhail McIntosh got a silly foul at the very beginning of the game. He hasn't had one since. He's learning. He's learning how to play hard, how to play smart without putting himself in a detrimental position to hurt himself by sitting on the bench with foul trouble. I like that. That's impressive. He's got what? We got 3:58, just under 4 minutes. If he can go into the locker room with 2 or less fouls, that's a good effort by him.
Yeah, 5 points in 12 minutes in this opening half for Mikhail McIntosh as we are under 4 minutes to go here in this opening half. And a 10-second count. Boy, the Redbirds, again, applying that pressure. You mentioned on a couple of those times, Fort Wayne barely got the ball across the timeline, and that was kind of with token pressure. This time the Redbirds really turned up the pressure and get a turnover out of it.
Well, that was a great call by the staff from Illinois State coming out of that timeout to do that. That was a different wrinkle than what they'd seen. They took away the middle pass, which had been there previously, and once they took that away, it just ate the clock up.
Fain backs in on Xavier Taylor, can't get it to go. And it's going to be a loose ball foul on Phil Fain on the rebound.
One mistake led to another. Forced a shot up that he should not have taken. Reverse it. He had nothing. There was plenty of time in the shot clock. Kick it out when the defender cuts you off and sees you out. Kick it out. Let somebody else look for an open shot. Then he forced it up and then followed it with a reach-in foul.
And that's his 3rd foul, Bob, so he's going to go to the Redbird bench. We won't see him the rest of the half for sure. And back to the free throw line goes Bryson Scott, the first free throw of the game for the Mastodons.
And they can't convert. They were 26 of 28 in their last game. I don't think the Redbirds want to put them there very often tonight.
Hawkins is double teamed. Kick out to McIntosh and a skip pass to Wills now. Lee tries to create something. 6 on the shot clock now. Clayton try to create on the right. Hangs and fires and scores.
Pretty little move right there. Nothing overly fancy. Just a controlled attack.
He averaged 13 points a game last year at junior college basketball playing for Palm Beach State College. And a near steal from Paris Lee as he almost picked that one off.
Well, there was, again, the effectiveness of the 2-2-1 press. They turned it up a notch again, forced an errant pass, and almost got the turnover. Once again, whatever the Redbirds are dialing up on defense tonight, it seems to be working. And it's all because of effort and intensity.
5 steals for the Redbird defense tonight. They just almost had a 6th there. 11 turnovers for Fort Wayne. The Redbirds, as you mentioned, Bob, have really done a great job of harassing them and making it difficult. That's a difficult shot, and John Conchar got it to go in.
That's a name that hasn't been called very often, and he's a really good player.
Well, Mikhail McIntosh, that's a professional basketball move there. Step in and fade away. That's difficult to defend.
Speaking of good players. Oh, my.
And now another near, and it is going to be a steal. It's McIntosh that comes away with it.
Look at him go with it. He almost had Hawkins for the breakaway.
Wills trails the play, missed the 3.
Once again, Mikhail McIntosh diving on the floor for a loose ball. When your best player sets the example to the rest of them, it makes it fun to coach.
Conchar the miss. Fort Wayne is shooting it at 40% here. in the opening half. It has not been a good first 20 minutes for the Mastodons. The Redbirds called timeout with 95 seconds to play here in this opening half.
Well, the press, the 2-2-1 press has not been something we've seen the Birds utilize a lot over the last several years. And, and if they do, it's usually just been to eat up time on the clock. They started that way tonight, and then the last 2-3 possessions, they turned the screws up and said, okay, let's get after it, go for steals. And they've been able to do that. And that's a good basketball team that they're doing this to.
1:35 to go here in this opening half. Illinois State led in scoring by Deontae Hawkins. He has 11. Both Paris Lee and DJ Clayton have 9. And the leading scorer for Fort Wayne is Mo Evans, their leading scorer. He has 11. He's 4 of 7 from the field. He had a very slow start, but is finally beginning to warm up a little bit. He's back on the floor right now.
Minute and a half, just over a minute and a half remaining. The Redbirds had the ball and took a timeout. I'm curious to see what they discussed in that timeout and who gets the ball.
It's Clayton down the lane.
Oh my! You can call as many timeouts, Coach Muller, as you want if that's what the results are going to be when you come back on the floor.
Right down Main Street for the hammer. Evans, his 3 is in, and as we mentioned, he started slowly, but he's now beginning to warm up in a big way.
He's got a really quick release once he catches the ball.
He's got 14 of his team's 22 points in this opening half. Under a minute to go here in the half. Lee's shot is contested and missed, and now Evans back in the front court.
Too quick of a shot, too early in the shot clock to do that. I would have liked to have seen him just kick that back out.
Evans with McIntosh on him, gives it up. It's Scott now. He's guarded by Clayton. Backdoor play, well done. He spotted Case and Harrell, who laid it in on a nice pass.
Redbirds will have an opportunity to get the last shot of the first half. Let's see what they set up and want to run on this one.
Fort Wayne showing a little life here in these last couple of possessions, but the Redbirds have an opportunity to go into the locker room with some momentum with another bucket here at the end. Wills down the lane. He's bumped. He lost it, and it's going to be tipped in by Deontae Hawkins.
Right place, right time.
And he had a tremendous opening half. Hawkins finishes the half with 13 points, and the Redbirds have a 17-point lead at the half. A tremendous opening half in the home opener for Illinois State. ISU 41, Fort Wayne 24. Our Country Financial halftime report is up next. You're watching The Valley on ESPN3. Back here at Redbird Arena at the half, it's Illinois State leading Fort Wayne 41-24. Take a look at the first half numbers. And that first page of numbers doesn't necessarily tell the entire story. Yeah, the Redbirds are shooting it at 48%. At one point, they hit their first, their first 6 or 7 shots from the floor. But the Redbirds really cashing in on the points off turnovers. They've turned it up a notch defensively, and they've really created havoc for the Mastodons to set up their offense. And the Redbirds have turned those turnovers into points. How about 13 points off those turnovers, Bob? And when the score is a 17-point spread, those 13 points tell the story.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. That's what they've been able to do. And how do you get that to happen? You play very good defense, and that's what this whole first half has been about, in my opinion. The Redbirds have played with such intensity and such effort on the defensive end. They have totally dominated the game. And it doesn't matter who's been in the game for the Redbirds. The bench has come in and has done just as good a game, as the starters have. They've got 11 points out of the bench tonight in the first half from the Redbirds.
And 7 3-point makes in the opening half for the Redbirds. That will cure a lot of ills if you're hitting that shot from 3-point land. That's really going to help.
Well, and again, I'm going to give credit to a team effort on that because the ball movement was so good on the offense. The shots that were taken were wide open shots. That shot at the top of the key, I know 3 or 4 of them. There wasn't a defender within 15 feet of them. So good ball movement, good defense. That usually leads to a good half.
41-24. Illinois State leads Fort Wayne at the half. We'll continue our halftime report brought to you by Country Financial in a minute. You're watching The Valley on ESPN. Welcome back to our halftime report presented by Country Financial. If it's important to you, we protect it. Take a look at those first half highlights, and the Redbirds made their first 6 shots from the floor, Bob, and that really set the tone for this game.
Oh, there's no question about that, and it did. And when you're shooting the ball that well against a team that, as I stated in the beginning, plays a soft man-to-man, then you have completely disrupted what Fort Wayne came in here trying to do defensively. And credit to Redbirds. Great ball movement right there. We see Hawkins with a great shot fake, one dribble, knockdown. Paris Lee, wide open, and we talked about that. DJ, what a great take right there by him. He has really come to life in this first half tonight. This is the explosiveness that we had heard about from him, but hadn't had a chance to see.
Well, the Redbirds made 6 3-pointers in the entire game fighting in at Murray State. They had 7 in the opening half here. So a huge bullet to be able to throw at somebody when you hit 7 3-pointers in the opening half. And Mikhail McIntosh, they're active, as you see. It was finally a matter of Mo Evans of Fort Wayne getting it going. He was really cold coming out because the Redbirds had turned up the defensive screws on him, but he wound up finishing the opening half with a game-high 14 points. And really, had it not been for Mo Evans, Fort Wayne would be in a lot of trouble right now.
You just nailed it, because he's doing everything he can. It's the rest of the crew that we've heard of, Bryson Scott, John Concher, Harold, guys like that usually contribute big time for them. They're not getting anything out of them tonight. Birds have just shut them down and put them on lockdown.
And so we are set to begin the second half of action here. The Redbirds again looking for their first win of the season after dropping the season opener on Friday at Murray State. Fort Wayne comes in at 1-1, looking to improve to 2-1, and they've got some work to do if that's going to happen here tonight. Redbirds will send Paris Lee, Tony Wills, DJ Clayton, Deontae Hawkins, and Mikhail McIntosh out to start the second half. It'll be Mo Evans, Bryson Scott, D'Angelo Stewart, Brent Calhoun, and John Conchar, the opening 5. The starting 5 will also open the second half for Fort Wayne. Illinois State with it to begin the second half, and on a backdoor lob intended for Mikhail McIntosh, it's intercepted, and back comes Fort Wayne after the turnover. Evans. He can't get his first shot to go, and it's tracked down by Wills.
Two quick shots there on both ends of the court.
Paris Lee gets tangled up with Bryson Scott, and the Redbirds have turned it over on their first 2 possessions of the half.
That was a lazy pass right there from Hawkins getting it into Paris Lee. And unless Paris has an absolute free lane for a layup right there, there's no reason to make that pass. What is he going to do on the low block with the ball? If he hasn't got a wide open layup attempt, there's no reason to get the ball in there to him. Reverse it. There's other options, and we've seen them. Don't force things.
And a whistle's going to go against Deontae Hawkins as he was bodying up with Brent Calhoun. You got to give Brent Calhoun a lot of credit. We mentioned how maybe the game was a little too quick for him in the opening half. Here's a guy that's reshaped his body. He lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 pounds since the end of last basketball season. So he's changed the way he's looking right now, and it's led him to see some more minutes on the floor.
Well, yeah, if we think the game's a little quick for him now, can you imagine what it would be like had he not lost that weight? He'd be sitting on the end of the bench. He wouldn't have to worry about what pace the game is going at.
Conchar just picked up his second. So the second half has not started at all like the first half did with the pace up and down for the Redbirds.
Not offensively. It has still maintained its level of intensity, I believe, defensively. Birds have deflected and created turnovers.
Here's Hawkins, shoots it over Calhoun, who blocked his shot. And so the Redbirds are 0 for their first 3 possessions now after starting 6 for 6 to open the game. Evans, floater, in. Mo Evans.
He is something.
6 of 10 from the field now, a game-high 16 points. He's averaging 20 and a half a game. And the Redbirds just turned it over again.
That a coach's nightmare. You get a large lead because of all the right reasons in the first half, and then you come out in that second half. Can you maintain that level of intensity? And it's hard to do, but good teams do it.
Evans with Wills on him. 10 on the shot clock. This is Conchar. Down the lane and the finish.
They're getting a spark. Fort Wayne's getting a spark.
Boy, the Redbirds really need a bucket. It's hard to believe we're saying that after they had a 17-point first half lead. But there's a 3-ball from Deontae Hawkins. They needed something, and they got it from Hawkins. 16 points now for Hawkins. He's 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And now a 3 answered by Bryson Scott. He's a 27% three-point shooter, just 3 of 11 from beyond the arc coming in.
Bryson Scott, a transfer from Purdue, has a twin brother playing at Indiana State in the Missouri Valley.
Wills is open from the corner. That's no good, but it's going to be an offensive rebound and a foul against Fort Wayne.
Once again, DJ Clayton being active on the boards. Took a foul to stop him. Good kick out once again by Mikal McIntosh to find a wide open Wills. That sagging man-to-man, soft man-to-man that Fort Wayne plays will create a lot of wide open kickouts. Now you just got to be able to hit them. First half, the Birds were. Look out.
Evans around a screen, couldn't get it to go that time. Hawkins brings it down, and the Redbirds back in the front court. Hawkins again open for 3, and again buries it.
Coach Muller just looked at Hawkins and gave him a thumbs up. Like, okay, you got my approval. As long as you're making, you just keep shooting.
Conchar picked up the pace that time, beat everybody down the floor, and the foul's on McIntosh, and that's his third.
And again, you cannot retreat back on defense lackadaisical. That's the first time, I believe, tonight that I've seen the Birds get beat back down the floor like that. And the result is your best player picks up his third foul. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the second half. That can't be done. You can't run down the floor letting people know you made a 3. You can't be a guy that runs down the floor celebrating your teammates' 3. You got to get down.
I stand corrected on that, Bob. Evidently, that's just his second foul for McIntosh, and that's better news for the Redbirds. Nonetheless, your point is well taken. I'm getting back down defensively, but that's personal foul number 2 on Mikal McIntosh.
Missed a cutting Wills right there. He was wide open.
Clayton had the ball stripped.
I think he was fouled. I believe there was somebody grabbed him by the arm right there. And that somebody might have been D'Angelo Stewart. Got away with one. About the neck. Oh, look out, look out.
Again.
They're just clearing out for him.
Yeah, he's been very active here as he takes DJ Clayton. And now Clayton just picked up 2 quick fouls on consecutive possessions there.
Clayton has got to man up on this. And you see him going right down there, but take a look on the left side of your screen. The help defender is Mikal McIntosh, and they're attacking that side intentionally because they want McIntosh to come in and take a swat at him and pick up a cheap foul. Concher is a good basketball player, intelligent basketball player. Birds just have not seen him at his best in the first half tonight.
Preseason All-Summit League selection. He has started every game at Fort Wayne. He was a 13.9 rebound guy a year ago as a freshman. In fact, his rebounding average, which was just a notch under 9 a game, was the 6th best for a freshman in the country. So you're right. He made an impact as a freshman, and he's expected to be an impact player again in his second year at Fort Wayne in the Summit League this year.
Here's a clear out. Good ball movement.
McIntosh to Wills. Excellent ball movement. It's feigned.
Great ball movement. had to be a minimum of 5 to 6 passes for a layup. That was pretty to watch. Active hands causing a deflection.
3 ball is missed by D'Angelo Stewart, and it's McIntosh who goes and gets it.
And appropriately gives it to Paris Lee because the break was not there.
Lee just walked.
Yeah, I mean, it's way too much dribbling.
And we've got our first media timeout of the second half. Illinois State 49 and Fort Wayne 35. 15-11 to go here at Redbird Arena. You're watching the Valley on ESPN3. The Valley on ESPN3 is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. Illinois State leads Fort Wayne 49-35 here at Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, our Redbird Productions crew with you. Home opener for Illinois State. The first half started out on fire for the Redbirds. Second half not quite that way, but the Redbirds still maintaining a 14-point advantage.
Well, I like the way they're still playing defense, and you know, that's what wins you ball games in the long haul of a season. You'll hear coaches talk about that all the time. You're never going to continuously shoot the ball the way they did the first half. You're going to get those wide open shots, but they don't always go down. So the one thing you can control is how hard and with what intensity level you play your defense. That's what's going to win your ball games. How do I know they're still playing solid defense? They've created 13 turnovers in this ball game tonight. That's amazing. Fort Wayne's having a difficult time getting to any sets. Like you stated at halftime, if it wasn't for Mo Evans, they'd be lost out here on offense.
Here's Conchar. He's been the one here in the second half that's tried to light a fire under the Mastodons. His fadeaway jumper is no good.
They're trying to get him the ball a few more times and get him isolated and let him do his thing. But, you know, and a couple of times it's worked, no question. They got to do something to try to create it. That's a good move by their coaching staff.
And there's McIntosh with that fadeaway.
Back to what you said earlier. That's indefensible. That's a big-time move.
And there is Mikhail McIntosh's third foul.
I would like to see the replay of that because that looked like he got a lot of leather. Whew. And here we're going to. And I'm still sticking to my opinion. I still think he got a lot of leather. I don't think he got much arm on that.
So at the 14-and-a-half-minute mark, Mikhail McIntosh picks up his third foul, and he'll join DJ Clayton on the bench, who already has his third foul. And we mentioned before, it's going to be a theme this year is how the Redbirds can try and keep Mikhail McIntosh on the floor. But Clayton's coming back in despite playing with 3 fouls.
Now, if I'm the coach, when he goes over and sits down, one of the assistant coaches is going to have a conversation with Mikhail and McIntosh. It's going to go something like this. You know, you don't have to make that kind of an attempt to block if you just hustle back and cut him off. Make him kick the ball back out rather than challenging you at the rim. Hustle is the key.
So Keyshawn Evans is back in the game now for the Redbirds. This is Lee. Penetrates with the left hand, flipped it up. Couldn't get it to go. Tipped in by an active Phil Fain.
That's athletic. That was amazing.
He's had a couple of those here in this second half, and good hands that time again by the Redbird defense.
That deflection is the kind of thing they keep, you know, staffs keep stats on deflections, and they're always looking to get 8 to 10 deflections a game. If you get that, you've disrupted an offense throughout the course of an evening, and that's what we're seeing happening, except when it gets into Mo Evans' hands.
He inbounded the ball and then ran over and got it away from Xavier Taylor and knocked down the jump shot. 19 points for Evans. He's just a point and a half under his average. And now a bad pass, and it's stolen away. It was Bryson Scott who got his hand on it.
There wasn't anybody in the gym didn't know that ball was going to be passed right there, right then.
8th Illinois State turnover. This is Taylor. And there's going to be a foul as Deontae Hawkins got his elbow in his back.
Cannot arm bar when they're on the low block. That's a given. Going to be called every time. Deontae should know that.
And Fort Wayne is now in the bonus with 13:34 to go. A lot of free throws going to happen the rest of the night.
Fort Wayne has been much more aggressive in the second half offensively, and the Redbirds have not quite reacted well to it. They're playing adequate defense, but just not quite the same as it was in the first. First half was textbook perfect. You make a film of that and show it to people on how to do it.
Xavier Taylor makes both of his free throws, won a state championship at Morgan Park a couple of years ago. And again, sat out last year in a transfer season from Bradley and now playing for the Mastodons of Fort Wayne. He's pulled his team within 13 at 53-40. Fain had his pass picked off. Again, it's Bryson Scott who comes away with it. Now in the front court. This is Stewart all the way down. And D'Angelo Stewart has pulled Fort Wayne within 11. It's the closest the Mastodons have been in a long time. We've got a timeout on the floor. 13:09 to go here in this one. It's a 53-42 Illinois State lead. Back with more from Redbird Arena in a moment. You're watching The Valley on ESPN3. Illinois State's lead has been trimmed to 11 points. It's now 53-42. And for the first time in the game, I think Fort Wayne's got a little bit of momentum here, Bob.
Oh, there's definitely a life on that bench that hasn't been apparent up until this point all night long. You and I talked about it. The foul issues with the Illinois State team. Mikhail McIntosh picks up his third foul, goes to the bench. What does Fort Wayne immediately do? They go on a 7-2 run. It is definitely a factor in this game when Mikhail McIntosh is on the floor or on the bench. Everybody gets more aggressive. We got stagnant. The Redbirds, I should say, got stagnant on offense, turned it over a couple of times, led to breakouts.
Fort Wayne showing a little bit of full court pressure here now.
They're not noted for doing that. Typically when they do, it's a token 2-2-1. They'll come back and they'll set up into a 2-3 or fall into their man.
Paris Lee walked again.
Oh, I'm not certain that was a walk.
He's been called on that move a couple of times here tonight.
Wow, that was... I thought that pivot foot did stay down. And that's one of Paris's patented moves. Well, it is what it is. Now you better fight through adversity.
McIntosh is back on the floor at this point here, Bob, and so this is going to be, as you mentioned, a critical stretch. There's a rebound basket by Conchar, and Fort Wayne is within single digits for the first time since opening tip, essentially.
And we got just under 12 and a half minutes remaining.
A lot of basketball to be played.
I think he should shoot the ball, but he should be ready when he catches it.
Hawkins missed the shot, but McIntosh was in the right place to lay it in. Redbirds are fortunate there. They got that easy basket.
My question on that is, how do you lose track of Mikhail McIntosh? He was that wide open under the rim.
Brent Calhoun has come in the game, so it's Calhoun, Conchar, D'Angelo Stewart, Mo Evans, and Bryson Scott on the floor right now for Fort Wayne. DJ Clayton's in the game for Illinois State with Paris Lee, Tony Wills, Mikhail McIntosh, and Deontae Hawkins.
This is when the defense is playing the soft man that we're seeing. You have to make sure that your cuts are harder, your passes are crisper, so that you get yourself open.
Officials timeout. 11:38 to go here at Redbird Arena. Illinois State has an 11-point lead. It's 55-44 over Fort Wayne. This is The Valley on ESPN3. Back here at Redbird Arena where Illinois State leads Fort Wayne 55-44. Hey, it's not too far away to start thinking about Arch Madness. The State Farm Arch Madness in St. Louis. If you're interested in tickets to go see the Missouri Valley Conference Championship Weekend, 438-8000. That's the Illinois State ticket office. Get your tickets now. Get them early. The Redbirds are picked second in the preseason Missouri Valley Conference poll, and if they are going to be a factor, they could be playing on that Sunday for a Missouri Valley Conference championship. Again, don't miss the 2017 State Farm Valley Basketball Championship. It's March the 2nd through the 5th at Scott Trade Center. It's presented by Fox Sports Midwest, and that ticket number again is 438-8000.
Well, in a nutshell, here's the reason the game has turned around a bit like this, Kurt. At halftime, Illinois State had scored 13 points off turnovers, and Fort Wayne had only scored 3. They're now on a 10-0 run, they being Fort Wayne, in that same category. Illinois State has turned the ball over 8 times in the second half as compared to only 2 turnovers for Fort Wayne. And Fort Wayne is scoring, like I said, 10-0 on points off turnovers in the second half.
Mo Evans rises and fires up a 3, but it's going to be an offensive rebound from D'Angelo Stewart, and another look, and a 3 ball that time is missed by Bryson Scott. So 2 looks for 3 from Fort Wayne, and neither go down.
And they do that. I mean, they shoot threes. They're not discouraged because those 2 didn't go in.
Wills, nice pass to Fain, and an opportunity for a 3-point bucket.
That was a great pass, but I will say this. The pass opportunity isn't there if Phil Fain isn't cutting on that baseline to go to the basket. He doesn't even have the chance to make that pass if Fain doesn't move. What a great cut. What a great pass.
Fain has made a difference here in the second half of the Redbirds.
It's kind of fun watching him grow into his position and where his skills can be utilized best at this level and with this team. He's still learning. I mean, crying out loud, he's only played 2 games. Here's the 2-2-1 pressure by the Birds. Still just kind of toking it. Nothing serious.
Evans step back 3. Can't get it. Clayton had it momentarily knocked out of his hands, and Keyshawn Evans goes back for it. Trailing the play is McIntosh. Now it's a Clayton 3, can't get it. An offensive rebound, though, from McIntosh.
My. What a horse. Young man contributes in so many different ways.
Wills down the lane, floater is in, and that entire play was set up by the offensive rebound from Mikhail McIntosh.
It doesn't happen if Mikhail doesn't keep the ball alive.
Wills tried to reach in and try to poke it away there from Conchar, but couldn't get it away from him. There's a nice pass down low, but it couldn't finish. Brent Calhoun was point blank range, but he couldn't finish, so they'll go out for 3, and they get 3 instead of 2. It's Kason Harrell.
I'll give Calhoun credit. He didn't give up. Even though he missed the easy bunny, he went back up, secured the rebound, and kicked it out to an open 3-pointer.
And it wound up being a better possession as they get 3 points out of it. McIntosh is double teamed now to Wills. Fain, the left-hander, strokes it but can't get it. High up to get it, DJ Clayton again.
Boy, he's turned his rebounding up a notch tonight. It's impressive to watch what he's done. He went in a crowd and got that ball. There's a hard cut, makes defense defend you.
McIntosh gives it up. Fain, baseline is in. After a 1-point first half, Phil Fain now has 10 in the game, a 9-point second half.
Well, the first half, he really didn't need to be that effective. There was enough other people doing things.
That's going to be a foul against Fort Wayne over the back on Racine Tala. He's the player from Senegal. He played at the same prep school, 22 Feet Academy, as some of the Redbirds in the past have played.
It's pumped out a lot of players, actually, throughout the country.
Where the last 2 Redbird offensive possessions have been critical because of second opportunities.
Second chance points.
A Mikhail McIntosh offensive rebound set one of them up. I'm drawing a blank now on that second one.
DJ Clayton.
DJ Clayton
ran it down on the left side. We talked about the importance of rebounding at the opening of the game and how we thought that would be a real key factor.
Hawkins missed the shot. Back comes Fort Wayne now as we approach the 8-minute mark left in this one. Illinois State with a 62-47 lead.
Great help there on defense. Birds are showing some real active possessions on defense again.
Officials timeout. 7:52 to play here at Redbird Arena. Home opener for Illinois State, and the Redbirds have a 62-47 lead over Fort Wayne. And you're watching. Illinois State leads 62-47 here at Redbird Arena. And the Valley on ESPN3 is brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford, go further. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris back with you. Home opener for Illinois State. Redbirds trying to get in the win column for the first time. They've led throughout. They ran up to a 19-2 lead. And it looked like they were just going to bury Fort Wayne. But you got to give Fort Wayne credit. They kind of limped to halftime and then have come out with a little extra fire here in the second half.
Well, you can almost bet there were flames coming out from underneath the door of the Fort Wayne locker room at halftime. There were some heated discussions going on in there regarding effort and attitudes, I'm sure. And it seems to have made a difference. Now, the Redbirds, no, they're not shooting the ball as efficiently as they did in that first half. But they're not playing ugly basketball either. Their defense seems to have been able to still right itself. They're getting the rebounds they need, and they're not quite pushing the ball in transition the way they did in the first half.
And they've really taken Bryson Scott out of the game. A guy who's averaging 15 points a night has just 3. And meanwhile, Deontae Hawkins is just absolutely on fire. He now has a new career high. Hawkins with 22 points, and this is the first time Illinois State has made 10 threes in a game since they did it in Cedar Falls on the 20th of February last year at Northern Iowa. So the Redbirds are shooting the three, and they've done it very well here tonight.
Well, open shots are a lot easier when there's nobody in your face and defending you. And once again, that type of style of defense that Fort Wayne plays allows that if you move the ball. Deontae's taking full advantage of that tonight, obviously.
Hawkins with 22 points on 8 of 13 from the field. He's 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. That rim, that basket must look like it's the size of a hula hoop. He's just throwing everything in it.
Once you get in a rhythm, once you get a shooter in a rhythm, then you're right, it does. And he's obviously feeling it.
Now it's Keyshawn Evans from the other corner. He can't get it. One-handed rebound. Ripped down by Brent Calhoun.
I don't like that shot one bit. One pass, one, and he shoots it. It's just, you got a guy that's as hot as Hawkins is, then let's move the ball and find him. I think that's a mistake on Evans' part that will be discussed in the next film session with the coaches.
So here's Scott. As we mentioned, he's the Purdue transfer, a finalist for the 2013 Indiana Mr. Basketball Award. Came into this game averaging 15 points and 5.5 rebounds a night, but he has just really struggled. The Redbirds have made it difficult for him. 1 of 8 from the floor, 6 points.
Mr. McIntosh has to take another seat on the bench again because of foul issues. Now we'll see what the Birds can do here. We can talk about him going over there, but it's not due to a lack of effort that he's getting fouls. He's doing his job out there. Now the other Redbirds have to pick it up when he's not on the court. Somebody's got to man up and be good.
There's an intercepted pass, but Phil Fain couldn't recover enough to keep it in play, and so he stepped on the end line. Fain has given Illinois State a nice lift here in the second half.
He really has. You're right. Like you said, he only had 1 point in the first half because everybody else was going crazy shooting the ball, so he just kind of did his thing and got rebounds and played defense. Bided his time. Okay, we're kind of struggling. I'll step it up.
Evans, step back three. Front of the rim,
Push
no good.
off.
Whistle, and that's going to go against Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
We could see that one from here.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Mr. Calhoun didn't have position, but he ended up with the ball, and there was a reason for it. A little push in the middle of the back.
Well, McIntosh had just a very brief spot on the Illinois State bench. Re-enters the game with his fourth foul. Deontae Hawkins will go to the Redbird bench. Nice round of applause for the Redbird senior, who has a career-high 22 tonight.
Okay, so there's going to be some people that ask, was 6 minutes ago, why is Coach Muller putting McIntosh back in the game with 4 fouls? The reason being is he's got to learn how to play the game with 4 fouls, still be effective, and stay in the court.
Scott's missed shot, and McIntosh back on the defensive end.
And that's how you be effective.
He's got 11 points and 5 rebounds tonight. Redbirds haven't needed him to go off and have a 15 or a 16 or a 17-point game. The scoring has come from other sources. Here's McIntosh fadeaway, no good.
That's good defense that time. Very good defense. Altered his shot, actually.
Evans, and a steal. Paris Lee.
Good decision by the Birds right there. 15-point lead, understand the situation. Nothing clear to the rim, pull it back out. Run a little clock, run a little time, get the ball in the hands of people you want to have it.
Now Wills behind a screen from Fain, can't get it, high up to get it is McIntosh. Another offensive rebound from Mikhail McIntosh. And that can just wear a team out. Keyshawn Evans, corner three, that's in.
Again, only because McIntosh gives him another possession with a rebound and a kick out.
11th three-point make of the night for the Redbirds. Calhoun, nice little jump hook there.
Where's that been all night?
Yeah, good footwork.
That was really pretty. Nice move.
So we approach the 4-minute mark left in this one.
Redbirds obviously in no hurry, milking this clock and that shot clock for as much as they can. Oh, look at
Backdoor
that.
cut, it's Wills. He's going to get to the free throw line. Calhoun was a step late and hammered him. So to the free throw line will be Tony Wills, and we'll step aside here. We've got immediate timeout. 3:58 to go in this one. Illinois State leads Fort Wayne 60. Time now for our Bratcher Heating and Air Defensive Play of the Game. Our Defensive Play of the Game is brought to you by Bratcher Heating and Air. Bratcher, making home comfortable again. Learn more on ways to defend your home against the elements by visiting BratcherComfort.com. Paris Lee gets his hand on another loose ball, and it's a steal for Keyshawn Evans. And the Redbirds, that has really been a story all night long. Active hands defensively for the Redbirds.
Oh, it truly has, Coach. You're right. 9 steals for the Birds. Has created 16 turnovers for Fort Wayne and 16 points off turnovers for the Redbirds. That's definitely been the difference in the game. Active hands, great positioning, and the ability to convert once you got it. That last possession the Redbirds had right before the timeout, the ball's up top here, and I believe it was in the hands of Paris Lee. Yeah, I know it was, matter of fact. Tony Wills is in the corner. Mo Evans, as good as he is offensively, made a crucial mistake defensively by just standing and staring at the ball while Paris Lee had it. Tony Wills cut backdoor baseline. Great bounce pass. Mo Evans had no clue Tony Wills had made a basket cut. Had Calhoun not come over and clobbered him on the attempt, it would have been an easy lay-in.
And somebody who didn't see tonight's game that's just going to take a look at the box score and see that Tony Wills is 1 of 7 from the field. It's going to underscore what he's done defensively, because all night long he's hounded Mo Evans and made Evans really work for his shots.
Yeah, and Evans is 7 of 17. Now he's got 19 points, but 7 of 17 isn't something. Hawkins is 8 of 14. I'll take that any day over the other one. Wills is, again, he's found ways to contribute without it just being scoring.
Calhoun's miss is cleaned up by the Redbirds. No, and then a block shot. How about Deontae Hawkins there? It looked like Kason Harrell was going to have himself a bucket from close range. No, sir.
Hawkins, just one more reason that he's had a good game tonight. Okay, he muffed that, he bobbled that around, but yet stuck with it and got the block, so the Birds got the ball.
He is stuffing that stat sheet tonight. Got a whistle before the shot. So Hawkins is sitting on a 22.6 rebound effort. Give him an assist and give him a block shot as well.
Well, and with his shots tonight, he's 8 of 14, but I truly maybe 1 or 2 shots that I would say he should not have taken, but yet 12 of them were shots that he definitely should have. So, okay, if you take 12 good shots, I'll let you take 2 bad ones. I got no problem with that. And again, like you said, he got 6 rebounds. He had 15 rebounds the other night at Murray. He's playing more of a complete game than he has showed in years past. And he's been able to stay on the floor and not get in foul trouble also.
Harrell with a nice slip and a jam that time for Brent Calhoun. Good pass by Kason Harrell.
Offensive call coming from the bench right here. Coach Muller giving instructions on where he wants players positioned. Clayton deep in the left corner. Coming up right there. Boom, dump off.
And a jam. And it's Deontae Hawkins off the nice pass from Clayton.
Pretty basketball.
Well done.
That's the 17th assist for the Redbirds tonight. Uh-oh, look out.
Redbirds have some numbers. It's McIntosh in transition.
Mo Evans can't believe something wasn't called, whether it was a foul on him or McIntosh. If I'm him, I got the whole season to play. I'm getting out of his way because he could end my entire career right there.
Calhoun backs in on Hawkins, and he may have traveled. He did. 5 players in double figures for the Redbirds right now. The first time they've done that since a game in Carbondale against Southern Illinois on January the 12th of last year. So the Redbirds have Paris Lee at 11, DJ Clayton at 11, Macau McIntosh at 13, Phil Fain at 10, and of course Deontae Hawkins' effort of 24.
And the reason being, 17 assists. When you move the ball that well, you're going to get a lot of people in the scoring column. Paris Lee leading the attack there in the assist column with 5. And you got Keyshawn Evans with 4. Tony Wills has 3. That's impressive. That's a lot of good ball movement.
Well, the Redbird fans are finally feeling comfortable enough to leave because, boy, Fort Wayne closed within 9. The Redbirds had a 17-point first-half lead, and when the Mastodons got within 9, you thought, is this going to be one of those miraculous comebacks? But the Redbirds took Fort Wayne's best punch and delivered a counter haymaker, if you will. And now it's Wills from the corner. His 3 rattles out, but another offensive rebound.
Another offensive board, and another long shot clock for the Redbirds being able to run off. Substitution timeout right there by Coach Muller. Class move.
So the final 68 seconds will be played by the Redbird reserves. A nice round of applause for the Redbird 5, which helped Illinois State get its first win of the year. They've got 75 points with 1:08 to play, and nice to see some other guys going to get some playing time here.
Redbirds were well prepared for this game, no question about it. And they came in with a fire underneath them that has been missing at times, bluntly, that fans have been wondering where that's been the last couple of years. Well, they showed it tonight. They came out focused, got after it, and they maintained it. Sure, started the second half, maybe they weren't shooting the ball quite as well, but the defense was still there. This is a big step in the right direction for the Redbirds, I think.
Matt Hine and Javaka Thompson are the two newcomers to the floor here tonight. They're on it right now. That's Thompson giving up to Fain with 2 on the shot clock. He's going to put something up and not get the rim, so that's going to be a shot clock violation. Likely one more possession for each side. So the Redbirds will even their record at 1-1 ahead of their next game, which is going to be at TCU. And that'll be a difficult test for the Redbirds. And the Mastodons are going to slip below 500. They'll be 1-2. As you see, Case and Harrell knock down that outside jumper, and this will likely be the final possession of the game.
Well, this is the kind of game that the Redbirds were needing prior to going down to Texas to play TCU. That they know they can play at this level now, and this is, again, this is a team that's picked to win the Summit League, and easily picked to win the Summit League. It wasn't just by 1 or 2 votes. This is a quality win for the Redbirds, and they needed that after their loss at Murray.
Wire-to-wire victory for the Redbirds, who scored 19 of the game's first 21 points and win their home opener 75-57 on their home floor. Take a look at our Meijer Player of the Game, brought to you by Meijer. You're just minutes from saving with M Perks. Find out more at Meijer.com. Deontae Hawkins, 24 points on 9 of 15 shooting, 7 rebounds and 1 block shot, and he was terrific shooting from beyond the arc. 5 of his 7 shots from beyond the arc went in. And Deontae Hawkins is our Meijer Player of the Game. He's had 2 impressive games to start the season. A 15-rebound effort at Murray State in a loss, a 24-point scoring effort in a win tonight.
I think we saw the Redbirds play with a defensive intensity that everybody enjoyed and created some offense out of that in the first half. We also saw them get 13 offensive rebounds. Those are things that equate to a blowout win like we saw here tonight. You do those kind of things, that's an attitude and effort and energy kind of a win. Those are fun to watch.
Illinois State players in the student section singing the fight song after a victory, the Redbirds' first of the year at 75-57. So for our producer, Autumn Conley, and all of our Redbird productions, I'm Kurt Pegler alongside Bob Morris, saying so long from Normal, Illinois, where Illinois State wins its first game of the year, 75-57 over Fort Wayne. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other productions on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, and good night from Redbird Arena in Normal, Illinois.